Mike Tyson recently outclassed Jake Paul in an intense sparring session, sending shockwaves through the boxing world. Fans had eagerly anticipated a showdown between the two, scheduled for November 15, 2024. But this early encounter exceeded expectations. When news broke that 27-year-old Paul would be stepping into the ring with Tyson, who is nearing 60, boxing pros and pundits were skeptical. Most believed this matchup would be a disaster, with the problem child either overpowering the aging Tyson or falling victim to Tyson's legendary power. However, the sparring session revealed an unexpected dynamic, leaving the boxing community buzzing with excitement and speculation about the upcoming fight. As both fighters prepare for their official match, this session has added a new layer of intrigue to their rivalry. What actually went down during the sparring session between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has left the boxing world scratching its head. On Friday, September 20th, Jake and Mike faced off in what was meant to be a routine sparring match, but it turned into anything but that. They squared up to gauge their readiness ahead of their highly anticipated fight, and the results were eye-opening. Tyson didn't just beat Jake, he schooled him like it was 1988 all over again. Fans were left in shock, as few expected a nearly 60-year-old to throw punches with such ferocity and skill. Mike still has that legendary power and
walk it out.
And obviously the type of style Mike adopts.
Speed, proving he's far from past his prime. Meanwhile, Jake learned a tough lesson in the ring, realizing he has a long way to go if he wants to compete with a boxing legend. The intensity of this session has left fans buzzing with anticipation for their upcoming fight. Let's be honest, many of us expected the sparring session between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson to be a friendly exchange, with Jake landing a few punches and Tyson showing he still had some moves. But that wasn't the case. Tyson came in ready to remind everyone who he is, the same fighter who annihilated Trevor Berbick to become the youngest heavyweight champion. Jake is now facing more than just a 58-year-old. He's up against Mike Tyson, the man who made heavyweight legends look like amateurs. Take Tyson's fight against Larry Holmes in 1988, for example. Holmes was a respected former champion, having been knocked down only once in his entire career. Yet Tyson wasn't fazed. He knocked Holmes down decisively. This sparring session has shown that Tyson is still a force to be reckoned with, and Jake has some serious work ahead of him. In that iconic fight, Tyson knocked Holmes down 3
You gotta be ready to eat some jabs, as you can see here.
times in the same round, leaving him flat on the canvas, wondering what had just hit him. Then there was the bout against Michael Spinks, who entered the ring undefeated. Tyson ended that streak in just 91 seconds. It wasn't merely a knockout, it was an obliteration. This is the Tyson Jake Paul is facing now, not some old-timer looking for one last paycheck. Tyson is back to remind everyone he still possesses that killer instinct. During their sparring session, Mike moved like he was in his prime, slipping punches, ducking, weaving, and delivering powerful shots that had Jake on his heels the entire time. Fans watching were astonished. Tyson's power hasn't diminished. Jake held his own, landing some solid punches and trying to keep up. But the session clearly showcased Tyson's enduring prowess. Tyson's ring IQ is off the charts. Every time Jake Paul tried to close in, Mike was already gone, slipping punches and countering with shots that had Jake second-guessing himself. The footwork and defense were so sharp, it felt like Tyson hit rewind to his prime years. Those body shots had Jake rethinking his entire strategy. Tyson's legendary power was on full display, and Jake got a front-row seat to the pain. If you thought this was just light sparring, think again. Tyson didn't hold back. He cornered Jake, putting him on the ropes and unleashing a barrage of combinations that were far from pretty. Let's not forget Tyson's signature peekaboo defense. He slipped Jake's punches like they were nothing, returning fire with quick, sharp counters that likely had Jake seeing stars. This is the same defense that kept Tyson untouchable in the 90s, showcasing his ability to evade and retaliate. It was a masterclass performance, reminding everyone just how formidable he still is. Jake Paul just got a brutal taste of what he's up against, and the craziest part, he had to be carried out of the gym on a gurney after the sparring session. Yeah, it was that intense. Tyson's punches aren't just powerful, they're precision weapons. In his prime, he wasn't merely swinging for the fences, every punch had a purpose. It's clear that nothing has changed. During the sparring, Tyson picked Jake apart with pinpoint accuracy, showcasing a masterclass performance that had fans in awe. Many thought age would slow Tyson down, but he proved them wrong. He's still a beast. Now imagine being Jake right now, stepping into the ring with one of the most dangerous fighters in history, thinking you've got a chance, only to have Tyson deliver a harsh reality check. This is why they call him Iron Mike, and Jake is now fully aware of the stakes. The truth is, Jake Paul isn't just facing any 58-year-old. He's up against the same Mike Tyson who took down Trevor Burke.
I'm getting ready for you. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Frank Bruno, Larry Holmes, and Michael Spinks. This is the man who became a living legend in the boxing world. If the sparring session is any indication of what's coming on November 15th, Jake better prepare for a war. Tyson isn't just showing up, he's here to win. Despite his age, he remains the baddest man on the planet, and Jake experienced that reality firsthand. This fight just got a lot more interesting. The boxing world was already buzzing with excitement, but now it's on another level. Tyson demonstrated that, even after all these years, he still possesses the power, speed, and mindset that made him a legend in the first place. The proof lies not only in Iron Mike's brutal knockout, but also in the training videos circulating online for months. This moment wasn't merely a loss for Jake, it was a wake-up call to the harsh realities of boxing. This marks the end of Jake Paul's delusion that he could hang with the real pros. The problem child had the entire boxing world believing he was some kind of A-list athlete, boasting a cocky persona and claiming he would knock out Tyson. But after being exposed in the ring, Jake's credibility has taken a nosedive. Let's not forget how his own words came back to haunt him.
Little menopause break and postpone the fight, so yeah. What about that, dog? I was ready before, you needed a little break. Your tummy hurt? Your tummy hurt still?
During the August 18th press conference, Jake audaciously declared that Tyson's time was up and that he would put the old man to rest. He said it with conviction, treating the legendary Mike Tyson as just another name on his hit list. Of course, Jake being Jake couldn't resist running his mouth. He was out there speaking straight from the heart, making bold claims left and right without a filter or second thought. The problem child seemed to believe he could walk the walk, but after that sparring session, it's clear that reality has set in, and he now faces a tough road ahead. Jake Paul boldly declared he would take down Mike Tyson, the legend himself, promising to end Tyson's reign.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And walk away victorious on fight night. But let's be real, Jake just got a reality check he wasn't expecting. He's not dealing with a YouTuber or an MMA fighter. He's up against a man who has been knocking people out for decades. Jake's confidence is a key part of his brand, and credit is due for that. But confidence alone isn't enough in the ring. After the sparring session, it's crystal clear that Jake still has a long way to go before he can truly compete with a legend like Tyson. He's been talking a big game for years, but is he really ready for this challenge? While Jake has had success in the ring, the gap in experience and skill is now glaringly evident. Jake has some notable wins under his belt, having defeated the likes of Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, and Anderson Silva. However, it's important to remember that these are MMA fighters, not seasoned pro boxers. They aren't the opponents that will truly prepare him for a monster like Tyson, a man who has built a career on destruction. While Jake has some skills, Tyson just demonstrated that there's a massive difference between beating YouTubers and MMA fighters and facing a boxing legend. The YouTuber-turned-boxer will need more than just knockout power and social media hype to get through this fight. If he wants to survive the first few rounds, Jake is going to need to evolve significantly in his boxing game. Calculated, vicious, and ruthless in the ring, Mike Tyson doesn't care about Instagram followers or the number of views someone is pulling in. He's solely focused on winning, and he's ready to show Jake Paul that firsthand. While Jake has been running his mouth, promising the world that he'll take down Tyson, he's finally confronted the reality that he's not quite there yet. The recent sparring session made it abundantly clear that Jake has a long way to go before he can truly back up the claims he's been making. Maybe Jake thought his youth and speed would be enough, but when you step into the ring with a legend, all that goes out the window. You think Jake is going to let this opportunity slip away? No way. For Mike, this fight isn't just about proving he's still the king. It's also about securing that bag. Both fighters have millions riding on this matchup, not to mention the sponsorship deals, pay-per-view numbers, and merchandise sales. There's too much money involved for either of them to call it quits now. Even if Jake knows he's in trouble, he's still going to show up and put on a spectacle. At the end of the day, that bag is calling, and both Mike and Jake are here to answer. So what are your thoughts on Mike outclassing Jake? Fill the comment section with your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, peace out.
I mean, come on.